snap. It looks like there's a video saying that Jada Pinkett Smith was lying about everything she's been saying in the last couple weeks regarding Tupac, I guess regarding Will and their breakup, regarding a lot of the topics within her new book that's coming out. She's been doing like press, going around, doing different interviews. I'm sure you guys have seen it. She even said Tupac had the same hair condition as her. I ain't even gonna try to pronounce the word because every time I do it sounds wild, but just know I don't believe it. Can I personally say that she's lying? No, I can't, because I don't have no proof or anything. This is all alleged. We're just looking at a video that was made online, and I am curious to see what receipts the internet found, because if one investigator is better than the actual police we pay with our taxes, the internet, the people that are just home, bro, bugging out. After watching Don't Mess with Cats back in the day, I was like, nah, the internet really be on some different timing. Like, I always knew, but that just reassured me, like, nah, really be on some different timing, bro. Finding out what people are at. So let's see what information they were able to find. That doesn't sound like that's the truth, Jada. That doesn't sound like that is the truth. Let's see more information regarding all this.
Jada's lying, and I have the timeline to prove it. And I'm literally in the middle of moving. That's why I look raggedy. But I cannot handle these fucking lies anymore. Jada is currently on her Pay Attention to Me tour, and she is making all these wild claims, including that Tupac proposed to her while he was at Rikers. Really, the math isn't mathing, so let's take a look. Tupac was convicted of sexual assault charges on February 8th, 1995. From there, he was sent to Rikers Prison, only to be transferred less than a month later to Clinton Correctional Facility. And she specifically said she went to see him. This was not on the phone.
But when I go to see him in Rikers, probably one of the more painful parts, seeing him there, the condition that he was in, and having to leave him there.
So prior to going into Rikers, Tupac...
Alright, listen, I'm tripping. There's a lot going on right now. But why couldn't she just fly down and go see him over the weekend or something? I'm tripping. There was a lot of information at that time. But so far, I'm like,
already had a girlfriend named Keisha. He proposed to Keisha, her words, in a September 2011 interview. He proposed to Keisha before he even went into prison. They were already engaged. They got married in April. And in the time that he got sentenced and was taken to prison, Keisha actually moved closer to be by him and be by the prison and saw him on a near daily basis.
When he asked me to get married, he was at Rikers.
So you're telling me that in the 3 to 4 week window that he was at Rikers, engaged to another woman who had moved closer to the prison and was there almost every day, Tupac proposed to Jada. But hey, Jess, you might be saying to yourself, Tupac wasn't known to be a one-woman man. He was...
It's funny because that's exactly what I thought. When she was saying all this, and she's like, yo, but he was married, he had girls, moving close. I'm like, he's a rapper, though. He's a rapper. Like, does that really stop a rapper from having different women coming to the jail? You sitting there by yourself all day. You probably tell this girl one thing, I want to marry you when I get out of here. You tell the other one, I want to get your name tattooed when I get out of here. I'm buying you a house when I get out of here. And just to continue the contact, continue speaking to them, continue having someone there for you while you're in those current conditions that you are dealing with. I'm not saying it's correct, but they be hood dudes. They be hood dudes with no job and 8 baby mamas having mad drones, even side drones visiting them. So you telling me Tupac didn't?
He was no angel. Fair enough. Let's see where Jada was during February of 1995.
I told you these internet detectives is good. Damn, I even try to buy Jada some leeway. See, I'm trying hard to prove Shorty wrong. I'm telling you, this is what they do. This is what they do. Shorty said, I can't take the lying anymore. Like, she lying about her. But I'm happy you doing God's work. Thank you.
Which was, as we've already established, the only time she would have been able to see Tupac at Rikers since he was only there for less than a month. You see, Jada had already met Will Smith in 1994 on the set of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but Will Smith was married, so nothing happened between them. But in February of 1995, Will Smith was served divorce papers by his wife. 5 days later, on February 19th, Will called Jada and said, "Are you single?" And she said, "Yep." Will said, "We're together now." Jada said, "Cool." And she immediately flew to LA.
That's some real player shit, though. I ain't even gonna hold you. That's kind of how I got with my joint. Never wanted a joint before. You know, I was living with my dudes. We had apartments together. I was in college and shit, so I really wasn't after that at that time. I knew it wasn't the right time for me. We was living life, turning up. But then, yeah, one day just called Shorty, like, you know what? You my joint now. Like, yeah, you going forward, you my joint. You know what? I changed my mind.
She flew so immediately that when he called her, she was in Maryland at a brand new house she bought. And she never spent a single night in her new house. That's how immediately she flew to LA. Jada, when in all that time did you visit?
All right, so that's that. Now we getting somewhere. Okay, now we getting somewhere. So she's saying Shorty was in Baltimore, then from Baltimore flew directly to Will in LA. So where the hell did she have time to go see Pac in that 1 month that he spent in Rikers? Tupac convicted sexual assault and sentenced. Tupac sentenced to Rikers jail. Will calls Smith. That was just days after Jada flies. Okay, so she would have had to seen him from the 14th to the 19th. She just didn't tell Will she was in New York. I'm in Baltimore in my new crib. Nah, I'm just chilling. You went out to dinner by yourself? Whose watch is that? You know, shorties always just never post the whole man's body when they single. They just post like the watch down. You always see the tattoos, watch, hand, by the plate. Always. Was Jada pulling one of those?
Tupac at Rikers and get this proposal. And for the record, Keisha and Tupac stayed married for about 10 months. They got their marriage annulled about 4 or 5 months after Tupac was released from prison. He was bailed out by Suge Knight. It wasn't long after that he met Kidada Jones. Kidada Jones is the daughter of legendary Quincy Jones. Kidada looks a little recognizable. You may know her sister, Rashida Jones, who played Karen on The Office. Kidada and Tupac were living together and engaged when Tupac was shot and killed.
I was gonna say, I know that for the end of Pac's time, because when Jada was saying all this, that's exactly who I thought about. I was like, how the heck did he end up then with Quincy Jones' daughter if he was out there proposing to her? But I'm like, I guess that's like almost a year and something apart from him being in Rikers to then him getting shot. I don't know how long he was with Quincy Jones' daughter. That's not shit that I research. I'm here for the musica. But when I see a title like this and I'm such a Pac fan, I'm like, nah, I gotta hear more about this. Pac's not really here to defend himself or say what the truth really is. Because he could have pulled, remember what Lil Baby did a Krishan Rock a couple weeks ago? All right, man, enough is enough. Stop putting my name in shit. He can't pull Lil Baby and go on Twitter and say something like that.
Kidada was the one that was there with him at the hospital the night he died. Kidada was handed his bloody clothes. She was the one who told him, we all love you, before he slipped into a coma and never woke up. Keisha spoke with Tupac several days before he died, because even though their marriage was annulled, they still remained good friends. And I can't help but notice that all of the women who are actually part of his life in a meaningful way are the ones that have just kept quiet. They've kept silent. They've kept their memories to themselves and not tried to use a dead man as their limelight. And the person who's squawking about him the most is making claims that can't even be verified and don't make sense from the perspective of a verifiable timeline.
I see why we love you.
He needed a rock. Because of our friendship and because of everything we had been through together, he just wanted to feel that solidified foundation.
There's so many people in that position don't have support.
Right?
Am I gonna say I don't think Pac loved her? Again, I wasn't there, but just being a fan and seeing all the footages and all the 1,000 documentaries I have seen about her, I do think that he loved her. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do think that he loved Jada Pinkett Smith.
None at all.
None.
Just because you love someone doesn't mean that everything could be true, because he could have loved her at that time and she actually was moving on to Will, or whatever happened at that time. And now she's spinning the block again and trying to repaint history. We don't know. Again, he's not here to really set the truth.
No.
He did get the best, but not from Jada, because per Will Smith's own words, that him and
Nah, shorty right here is too energized and just shitting. And the way that she just keeps jumping back in, he did get the worst, but not through. I was even feeling bad. They put Jada back on the screen and then she comes back in and pops up in out of nowhere and just continues the rah.
Jada were pretty much humping all over the world. They were traveling constantly from the first 3 months they were together all over the world. So Tupac did get some great support, I imagine, from his wife, who moved closer to be with him and visited him every day. And why do I care? Because I'm Gen X, and like any good Gen X person, I grew up on Tupac. We all remember this going down. We all remember where we were when we heard that Tupac got shot or that he died. We all have this hat for poetic justice, walking around looking like newsies, slinging newspaper about the Great Depression and FDR. And we're all just sitting here watching Jada spout these lies, being like, do you think no one remembers? Because we all remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers, Jada. I
ain't gonna hold you. Shorty really did her homework. She had a lot of supporting facts. What really got me was the timeline, because you guys saw, I was like, I guess. He had a John. He had different girls married, visiting him. I guess. The only thing, timeline is a little crazy, like it's a little crunch, but it's still not impossible to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Would she have to admit that she lied to Will or something? Yeah. Does she care enough about this girl or us to probably prove that? No. Will probably knows the truth, but that gap there is enough to go see somebody. The only proof that we would need would be like the jails. They have signature of who actually went and visited. I don't know if that's even made public or how can you get proof of that, but we would have to see proof in 95 that's probably written in some binder somewhere in the basement that Jada went and signed to go see Tupac. That's the only proof or anything that we need to really say that it's true. Do I think anyone would care that much to do all that? No. But Shorty went in. Do you guys think Jada say the truth, or do you believe Shorty right here and all her evidence that there might be some lies to Jada's recent things about Tupac? You let me know. When it comes to loving each other, I do believe they were young in love, and sometimes you can't replace that. But is the story a little fluffed? There's some things in there that I'm like, it's just hard for me to believe. It just sounds a little fluffed to me. Does it mean that it's not the truth? No, I wasn't there. It could be perfectly 100% true. Personally though, I just think there's something added in there, a little fluff. Let me know down below what you guys think. We're on that road to 10,000 subs. Gotta hit that 5 so we can get to that 10. Sub up, sub up.